Welcome to the Big Money Dating Game with the star of our show, Adam McManus. Yep, it's me, Adam McManus here. Praise the Omnissiah and let's get dating! Let's start by introducing our fine, super fine bachelors. They all come from the Warhammer universe. Each brings with them a unique personality and appearance, representing the very best of their factions. Our first bachelor joins us today from his home on a big floating saucer on the southern rim of the Milky Way. He's a tall fellow with an even taller hat, and I'd like to introduce him to you right now. His name, Arthur Autark. This one, he's a wild and crazy, fun guy from this side of the ozone layer. He's got a big heart and an even bigger hammer. Here's bachelor number 2, Oswald Boss. I always gotta be number 2. You saying I'm shit or something? Our third and final bachelor hails from a little land known as Hammerhall. He's good with his hands and has a high standard of personal grooming. Say hello to number 3 and say hello to the rest of our studio audience. And remember, praise the Omnissiah. Well, now that you've met our bachelors, it's time to meet our lovely bachelorette. You might say she's come from straight out of this world, the continent of Immoren, to be precise. She's looking for love, and hopefully today, she's come to the right place. Which of our bachelors will she choose? Let's find out. Let's start with some questions. Fire away, Absalonia.
Bachelor 1, how do you feel about horns?
There are many species that have horns. I'm sure that any horn is but a small distraction from your magnificent beauty.
What about you, Bachelor number 2?
I don't know. Can I smash them?
Are you worried that maybe that'd be taking things a little too, quickly?
I specialize in going fast. Faster than anybody you ever known before.
Aren't you quite direct? Bachelor number 3, where do you like to spend your free time?
You're in my shop. I make all sorts of gizmos and gadgets. I even have a forge. I can make you a ring.
Isn't that sweet? Bachelor number 1, what would we do for a dream date?
We'd find somewhere nice and quiet, where we could enjoy a contemplative evening, where we bask in one another's physical presence, without ever needing to say a word.
What about you, Bachelor 3?
Under the stars, I'll take your hand as we dance in the glow of a campfire. We'll sing songs and drink and be merry together, with nary a soul to stand in our way.
What about you, Bachelor 2?
Well, seeing as I'm one hell of a guy, I think we'd have to start with a ride on my chopper. It's the biggest, fastest one in all of Essex County. The chopper, it's mine. It's a real mean machine. And once we go for a ride, your mind's going to be made up. Maybe it's time to take you for a ride, if you know what I mean.
Bachelor number 1, if we went to a carnival together, what ride would you take me on?
The Ferris wheel, of course. It's slow and steady, and a great opportunity to study the stars.
And get to know one another better?
Sure, there will be plenty of time for that, too.
What about you, Bachelor 2?
I love carnivals. They're great fun. We could stop by riding the roller coaster. Only thing as fast there is me. Or maybe we'd hop into bumper cars and, maybe smash each other around a little bit.
What about you, Bachelor 3?
The Hall of Mirrors, so you can get a good look at my immaculate beard.
A beard? How charming! Is it a very long beard?
It's nearly as tall as I am.
That's not saying much for a half-height dwarf like you.
At least I'm not an ugly green monster.
Relax, you two. This is a very serious game of love and fear.
I'm going to have to interrupt this conversation for a little commercial break. When we return, Absalonia will choose her bachelor. Space. It's a pretty big place, which means there's no shortage of places to grab a bite to eat. It's a shame, then, that so many restaurants today are hell-bent on under-delivering and overpricing their mediocre menus, when all they have to offer is yesterday's garbage. It's time you find a new spot for you and the boys. What you need is a Zerg burger. At Zerg Burgers, you can count on fresh, tasty food with great service, all at a reasonable price. Our Tyranid waitstaff are the best in the business. Once you give us a try, you'll never settle for substitutes again. We don't just have burgers, we've got the best fried chicken, fries, and the thinnest onion rings this side of the Pariah Nexus. They're so crispy, you might just think we've got a space marine with a flamer working the grill. Stop by today for the best food in the universe. Zerg Burgers. Nom, nom, nom. And we're back!
Well, I put a lot of thought into this, and I have to admit, all three bachelors have made quite the impression on me. Each has their own unique charms. I'd really love to meet bachelor number 3. But to be honest, I don't think I can choose a favorite, so I'm gonna pick all 3.
You can't do that. It's against the rules.
Okay, you want to be a tough guy. Maybe we should just fight to see who wins the lovely lady. Pretty boy.
It's hammer time.
Subscribe if you haven't so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.